This question is kind of hard. And so it provides us a good example of why we need to get good at predicting the question, knowing what the SAT is trying to test us on. In this case, we see that they're kind of mostly keeping things the same, but changing the words a little bit. But we also see that there's some punctuation changes. And even if we don't go with the colon here and we stick with the comma, the fact that that comma is even part of the answer choices makes me think that we're dealing with punctuation. And so we really need to remember that punctuation is used to show sentence structure, where sentences kind of switch and flip and move around. And so it's a long sentence and it's easy to get lost in it. But if we know that that's what they're testing, we're more likely to kind of just hone in on that, that aspect of the sentence. So let's see here. Actually, while we do it, let's look first at this colon, right? Because colons have a specific rule. In order to use a colon, we need a complete sentence before the colon. Afterwards, we've got some flexibility, but before the sentence, we need it to be, before the colon, we need it to be a complete sentence. So let's see as we read if that sounds complete to us. Because consumers reap the nutritional benefits of Greek yogurt and support those who make and sell it. No, it doesn't sound like a complete sentence. It sounds like I'm leading into a sentence, right? So that does not pass the complete sentence test, and that's gone. So that makes it more likely that there's going to be a comma, but we still need to think about sentence structure here. So let's look at what's written. Because consumers reap the nutritional benefits of Greek yogurt and support those who make and sell it, therefore farmers and businesses should continue finding safe and effective methods of producing the food. So there's the main sentence. Farmers and businesses should continue finding safe and effective methods of producing the food. I could shorten that a little bit if I wanted to kind of just get down to the core here. Farmers and businesses should continue finding methods. Fine. There we go. So what does that mean? Well, that means that when we lead into this thing, we've got to be careful. This word therefore is kind of this hanger-on. And what does it mean? Well, therefore is a word that basically means so. It's a cause and effect kind of word. But we already have a cause and effect kind of word right at the beginning here. So this is redundant. We don't need the because, or we don't need the therefore because we already have the because. And so that also means that C is going to be a problem because the so is doing the same thing the because is doing. And so B is the answer. It is the shortest, so maybe that would have helped us kind of along and pick that. But I do think it's more than just being short here. It's that there's an actual rule, and the way that this sentence is structured, we already have this piece attached. And so the main sentence doesn't need an attacher word, a kind of connector word, like therefore or like so. We have the connection through the comma and the word because. Those two things together kind of already do some connecting. It's weird because they're connecting, but they're at the beginning and they're connecting to something that comes after them, but that's okay in English. That's why we use commas, to show those kinds of connections. It's tricky, it's a hard one, and it is hard to hear where sentences begin and end, especially when the sentences are kind of long, but it's an important skill. They will absolutely test it, and they will try to do weird stuff with it. So to me, this is a weird question. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Hopefully, you noticed it all and were able to get it right, but if not, use the answer choices to predict the question as accurately as you can so you get your brain thinking about the right things as you read the sentences. You're more likely to notice problems when you're already kind of halfway towards noticing them.